这里居然还有个远航汽车的展厅。
Here's something unexpected. A showroom for Yuanhang Motors. I heard the company went bankrupt. Without after-sales support, buying a car from them seems risky. This display car is covered in dust. I've never seen it before. It's astonishing how a new energy vehicle brand could fall so quickly. If this car sold for 50,000 yuan, I'd consider buying it. I think many others would too. But when it was new, the price was at least a few 100,000 yuan, maybe more. All of these cars are fully electric.
Yuanhang Motors was a brand under China's Dayun Group, established in August 2022. It's teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. The Chinese electric vehicle market is undergoing an unprecedented shakeup. Recently, 7 new energy vehicle companies released their financial reports. Observant users noticed that back in 2018, there were over 487 such companies. By 2023, that number had dwindled to just over 40.
It's shocking to realize that more than 400 new energy car companies have closed in just 2 years, leaving only about 40. My guess is that in another year or two, over half of those will disappear. Ultimately, only around 10 companies might survive. Why? Manufacturing cars burns through cash. NIO, for example, has spent nearly 100 billion yuan over its 10-year history. Xiaomi recently revealed it loses 37,000 yuan on every SU7 car it sells. Among the 7 companies reporting this year, only Neta Auto, Tesla, and BYD are making profits. Most others are losing money. This signals the end of the first phase of the new energy vehicle race. The next phase will likely start early next year. The focus will be on advancing driving capabilities in solid-state batteries, as well as plug-in hybrid and extended-range electric vehicles with a pure electric range of 300 to 400 kilometers. These will become mainstream. Right now, most cars on the market are using outdated technology. Spread the word. Don't buy or replace your car unless absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you risk buying a car with outdated technology or one from a manufacturer on the verge of collapse with no after-sales support. During this market shakeup, buying blindly could leave you with a car that's impossible to repair, doesn't last long, or can't be resold. That kind of loss is hard to swallow.
One list circulating online shows how many electric car companies have already gone bankrupt. Even some well-known brands are on it. People are asking who will come up on top and who will clean up the mess left behind. Since the launch of domestic new energy vehicles, problems like battery fires, malfunctioning self-driving systems, and parking issues have been common. Now, whenever there's a car accident, many immediately suspect an electric vehicle was involved. For instance, on November 22, 2024, a driver involved in a crash shared a video saying, "Domestic new energy vehicles are terrible. Look at how badly the car was damaged, and yet the airbags didn't even deploy." Due to frequent quality issues, new energy vehicle companies have no way out. Therefore, the collapse of over 400 companies is not surprising. After all, even He Xiaopeng, the founder of Yuanhang Motors, made a shocking statement at the Mona MO3 launch event, saying, "In the future, only 7 to 8 car companies will remain in China's mainstream market." Following the bankruptcies of WM Motors, Neta Auto is also suspected to be on the verge of collapse. At present, it seems that Neta Auto's after-sales service will no longer be guaranteed. Netizens commented, "You can still charge your cars for now, but maintenance and repairs bring tears." Neta Auto, established in 2014 and operated by Hosan New Energy Automobile Company Limited, is currently facing significant financial challenges. Reports from November 7th indicate that the company has initiated large-scale layoffs, with some departments experiencing reductions of up to 70%. An internal source confirmed the severity of the situation, stating that certain departments are indeed undergoing substantial layoffs. Additionally, the company has only dispersed half of its September salaries, and payment status for October remains uncertain. In response, Neta Auto's official stance is that these actions are part of a strategic effort to streamline operations, focus on core business areas, and optimize organizational structure. The company emphasizes that adjustments are being made on departmental business requirements and future development needs. Prior to the layoffs, on October 29th, reports emerged that Neta Auto had begun implementing salary reduction plans, with employees across various departments receiving notices of pay cuts. The company explained that this move was part of a broader initiative to launch an employee stock incentive plan, allocating 5% of its shares, valued at approximately 2 billion yuan, to employees. This plan is accompanied by new salary and performance assessment schemes. Neta Auto also plans to implement measures such as as organizational streamlining, workforce optimization, business focus, and flat management to enhance efficiency and reduce costs. Currently, Neta Auto offers models including the Neta S shooting brake, Neta L, new Neta X, Neta Aya, Neta S, and Neta GT. However, the company's recent financial difficulties have raised concerns about its ability to provide consistent after-sales service. This situation has led some customers to express apprehension about the reliability and support for Neta vehicles. Since 2017, Hosan Auto, Neta's parent company, has completed 10 rounds of financing, raising a total of 22.8 billion yuan. In terms of sales, Neta Auto delivered 152,100 vehicles in 2022, a 118% increase compared to the previous year, achieving its goal of delivering 150,000 vehicles. It also recorded 29 consecutive months of year-over-year growth, securing the top spot among emerging automakers in delivery volume. With such positive momentum, Neta Auto set an ambitious target of delivering 250,000 vehicles in 2023. However, the company only managed to deliver 127,500 vehicles, down about 16% from the previous year. This means it met just 51% of its goal. Among the emerging automakers, Neta ranked 6th, making it the only leading new energy vehicle brand to experience a decline. At the start of 2024, Neta Auto CEO Zhang Yong took to Weibo to reflect on the previous year's shortcomings. He pointed out several reasons for the company's struggles. He said, "Auto's communication methods are outdated, and we fail to promote the good aspects of our brand. Moreover, our centralized marketing management was weak, which ultimately led to failure." As a result, Neta shifted its focus to marketing and communication. Zhou Hongyi, the chairman of 360 Technology and one of Neta's investors, personally stepped in to help with marketing. He not only publicly supported Neta on social media, but also co-hosted a live streaming event with Zhang Yong. Earlier this year, Zhang Yong revealed that the company's sales goal for 2024 was 300,000 vehicles. However, by September, Neta had only delivered 85,900 units, a year-over-year decline of 12%. Facing these challenges, going public has become a potential lifeline for Neta Auto. On June 26, Neta's parent Hosan submitted an IPO application to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. By July 10th, the China Securities Regulatory Commission had accepted its application. However, by August 3rd, regulators had requested additional materials, including compliance explanations regarding foreign investment policies, insurance operations, and details about shareholder and employee equity structures. As of now, the listing process appears stalled, with the latest updates showing no progress since July 9th. According to the company's prospectus, Neta Auto recorded cumulative losses of over 18 billion yuan from 2021 to 2023. Given these financial struggles, the likelihood of a successful IPO seems slim. Adding to the pressure, more bad news emerged. On November 7th, eFort Automation filed a lawsuit against Hosan, citing unpaid debts of over 48 million yuan for various equipment contracts signed between 2020 and 2022. This lawsuit might become the final straw that breaks Neta Auto. In addition to the wave of bankruptcy among new energy vehicle companies, reports of cities replacing electric buses with fuel-powered ones have further shaken confidence in China's electric vehicle market. For example, the city of Baoding recently retired its first batch of electric buses and replaced them with fuel-powered ones. The primary reason cited was that the batteries had exceeded their warranty period, posing safety risks and making them unsuitable for operation. Apart from safety concerns, the high cost of replacing the batteries was also a major obstacle. Even if the government could afford this round of replacements, it's uncertain whether they could cover future expenses. Following Baoding's decision, other cities like Xianning in Hubei, Jining in Shandong, and Zhenjiang in Jiangsu have also begun phasing out electric buses in favor of fuel-powered ones. In the context of heavily indebted local governments, maintaining electric buses with expensive batteries has become unsustainable. This raises a question. If even public buses can't afford battery replacements, can ordinary consumers? Electric vehicles have been popular among consumers for reasons like exemption from purchase taxes, environmental benefits, and lower fuel costs compared to gas-powered cars. However, many buyers are unaware of the high costs associated with battery replacements. For instance, a second-hand BYD car might require an 80,000 yuan battery replacement, while the car itself is only worth 60,000 yuan. For other models, battery costs can be even higher, reaching 400,000 yuan for certain luxury hybrid vehicles. Some may argue that battery warranties cover such expenses, but if you look at BYD's warranty policy, there are several conditions under which the consumer must pay for repairs themselves. For example, using non-BYD parts during maintenance, exceeding 30,000 kilometers in annual mileage, or repairing accidental damage outside BYD service centers. These can all void the warranty. Similar restrictions exist with other manufacturers. Ultimately, the money saved on fuel isn't enough to offset the potential cost of battery replacement. For private cars, the likelihood of needing a battery replacement is relatively low, since they're not driven as extensively as buses. However, the first wave of new energy car owners is now facing out-of-pocket battery replacement costs as warranties expire. This dilemma underscores a sobering reality. While electric vehicles promise savings in the short term, their long-term costs and reliability remain significant concerns. Apart from battery issues, the range of new energy vehicles remains a significant concern. Often, the actual mileage falls far short of the advertised range. Additionally, the slow rollout of charging infrastructure limits the growth of new energy vehicles, requiring substantial investment to address these challenges. Moreover, China's NEV industry is still in its early stages. Since the first wave of vehicles hasn't yet entered a large-scale retirement phase, the systems for battery recycling and regulation are still underdeveloped. The environmental impact of discarded batteries in the future remains uncertain. Chairman Li Shufu of Geely Holding Group has also reflected on the rapid development of China's electric vehicle industry. He pointed out that traditional internal combustion engine vehicles have undergone over a century of continuous refinement, with safety technologies thoroughly validated through practice. In contrast, electric vehicles haven't reached this level of maturity. Issues such as range, fire risks, high voltage leakage, limited infrastructure, rising insurance premiums, and low resale value highlight areas where electric vehicles are behind traditional cars. On November 12, Gao Shougang from the Department of Equipment Industry at China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology commented, "While vigorously developing new energy vehicles, we should also leverage the development of traditional energy vehicles and ICE manufacturers." This statement peeled back the facade of NEVs as a technological marvel of the times. China's media has long portrayed fuel vehicles as being on the brink of elimination due to the rise of NEVs. The Chinese government's policies have heavily promoted NEVs, and much of the public became enthusiastic supporters due to state media influence. However, this sudden policy shift has left many feeling awkward and uncertain. Looking at sales, the growth rate of fuel vehicles now surpasses that of NEVs, especially in export markets, where fuel vehicles dominate. In 2023, China exported nearly 5 million cars, with 80% being fuel vehicles. For the first time, China surpassed Japan to become the world's largest automobile exporter. Recognizing the importance of fuel vehicle technology not only boosts China's automotive exports, but also provides long-term support for the industry. After all, the international market is far larger than the domestic one. Furthermore, the vehicle industry's vast supply chain supports numerous industries and jobs. The abrupt shift from the government's heavy promotion of NEVs back to fuel vehicles has disappointed consumers and disrupted livelihoods. For example, Shanghai Neta Auto, a company hit hard by the downturn, failed to pay its workers. This led to hundreds of employees taking to the streets to demand their wages, resulting in chaotic protests that were eventually suppressed by authorities. In one video, the police are seen attempting to remove a protesting worker, while surrounding employees shouted, "The police are beating people." It looked quite serious. A lot of police officers were there, and many workers were on strike. The root cause of all this lies in the Chinese government's strategy to channel nationwide resources into developing the new energy vehicle sector. Leveraging its state-driven model, China rapidly built a cost-effective electric vehicle industry, creating a massive advantage domestically and globally. However, this has also raised alarms in markets worldwide. Chinese media once openly stated that the government's primary goal in developing the electric vehicle industry was to target international markets. In other words, China's NEV production capacity was designed to meet global demand. Now, with Chinese electric vehicles facing obstacles in Western markets, the question remains, can export markets like Russia, Southeast Asia, South America, and Africa be large enough to absorb China's massive production capacity? Following U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's warning during her May visit to Beijing about overcapacity and dumping, North America and Europe have increased import tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. Meanwhile, some Southeast Asian countries are considering restrictions on cheap Chinese products. These developments add significant uncertainty to how China will manage its export-oriented electric vehicle overcapacity. According to the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers, the export volume of NEVs in May fell below 100,000 units, a 9% decline year-over-year. From January to May, electric vehicle imports also experienced their first decline of 1.8%. In June, exports of NEVs continued to shrink, with a 13.2% month-over-month decrease. As more countries resist low-cost electric cars, China's auto export momentum is weakening, and future export markets may face increasing challenges. With the export market faltering, NEV manufacturers are now relying on domestic demand to survive. To maintain market share, many companies are slashing prices. While this strategy might help in the short term, it comes at a significant cost. For those unable to sustain these losses, bankruptcy seems inevitable. Economist Caixin Kun mentioned in an interview with Voice of America that China's electric vehicle industry cannot yet support a significant portion of the country's economy. He pointed out that China's NEV exports are not driven by long-established brands, cutting technology, or reliable sales and after-sales networks. Instead, their success relies on low production costs and early domination of the supply chain, advantages that are unlikely to last. He stated, Western countries will swiftly adjust their industrial policies and introduce trade measures targeting Chinese electric vehicle exports. They won't easily concede this market to China. While both developed and developing countries start viewing Chinese NEVs as a threat, China may find itself confined to its domestic market, unable to compete globally. This could even turn into yet another failed project. Tsai also emphasized that the initial advantages China gained through state-led efforts must eventually adapt to market competition. Whether China's NEVs can replicate the decades-long dominance of Japanese fuel-powered cars remains an open challenge.